The stars were quiet. In the cold silence of space, a dead station drifted slowly through the Andromeda expanse. Its outer hull was cracked, torn by time and war. Inside, only darkness remained, until the sound of boots echoed through the forgotten halls. Alex Carter moved carefully, his flashlight cutting through the dust. He was alone as always. A scavenger by trade, he'd explored hundreds of wrecks like this. But something about this station felt different. Older, colder, like it didn't want to be found. His helmet picked up faint power signatures. Barely a pulse, but enough to make him curious. He stepped over broken metal and old bones. The air was stale, systems long dead. But somewhere below, something was still alive, or at least trying to be. Alex reached a sealed door. The panel was covered in grime, but the markings were strange. Not Dominion language. Something older. Something no one used anymore. He wiped it clean. A faded emblem, round, blue and green, showed through. A world? A planet? He didn't know. He hacked the door open. Inside was a control room, untouched by time. Screens were cracked, wires dangled from the ceiling, but in the center sat a glowing orb. A data core. Still warm. Still blinking. Alex stepped closer. The core hummed, sensing his presence. Identification required. A voice said, soft and synthetic. Alex blinked. What the hell? He connected his pad to the core. His screen lit up, and symbols he had never seen filled the display. The voice spoke again, this time not asking, but remembering. Welcome, human. Alex froze. Human? That word hadn't been used in over 1,000 years. He had heard it once, as a kid. A whisper from an old drunk in a bar. We were once called humans, the man had slurred. Before they wiped it all out. But it was just a story. A myth. The Dominion taught that humans were fiction, propaganda used by rebels to stir unrest. No one took it seriously. Except now, standing in front of this ancient core, Alex wasn't so sure. He activated a playback file. Holograms flickered to life. Images of people, not aliens, not Dominion officials, but people who looked like him. Skin tones of every shade. Faces filled with laughter, pain, strength. Then came scenes of cities, oceans, forests. A planet rich and alive. A name appeared beneath the images. Earth. Alex's breath caught. His heart pounded. This wasn't just old data. This was history. Real history. Erased by the Dominion and buried in time. He watched as the holograms shifted. The peaceful scenes changed. War. Fire. Ships in space battling strange enemies. Then came the silence. One by one, systems went dark. The final message was short. They erased us. But we remember. Alex pulled back, eyes wide. He didn't fully understand what he had just found, but he knew one thing for sure. This was dangerous. He shut the core down and packed it into his bag. As he turned to leave, his comms picked up a signal, faint, but clear. Unauthorized access detected. Investigation dispatched. The Dominion knew. Alex ran. Through broken corridors, across rusted catwalks, into the belly of his ship. He strapped in, started the engines, and launched just as a sleek black Dominion scout vessel appeared on his radar. Too late. They were coming. But it didn't matter. He had found the truth. And now, they couldn't unfind him. Alex Carter's ship, the Warden, tore through the blackness of space, its thrusters screaming against the vacuum. The Dominion scout ship was already behind him, but he knew that wouldn't last. They had faster ships, better tracking tech, and no shortage of reasons to hunt him down. He gripped the controls tighter as the alert system blared again. Pursuit craft detected. Interception in 4.2 hours. That wasn't much time. He needed to hide, and fast. Alex veered toward the asteroid field of Vantar 9, a region most ships avoided due to heavy debris and signal interference. It was risky, but he didn't have a choice. He couldn't outrun the Dominion in open space. He had to disappear. As he entered the asteroid field, large chunks of frozen rock and metal floated past the hull. The Warden twisted and dodged through narrow gaps, flying almost blind. The ship creaked under pressure, but it held. For now, he shut off all non-essential systems and let the ship drift. Inside, the silence was thick, broken only by the occasional groan of metal. He powered down his transponder, hoping to mask his signature. Then he turned to the data core. It sat quietly on the floor, dim but still active. The words kept playing in his head. Welcome, human. They erased us. But we remember. Alex had seen many things in the Outer Rim. Pirates, alien tech, even void beasts. But this was different. This was truth. Living truth. And it explained why the Dominion feared it so much. He tapped his wrist pad and scanned the core again. Layers of encryption shielded the deeper files, too advanced for his gear. But someone out there could unlock it. Someone who still remembered. He leaned back in his seat, thinking. Names and faces flickered in his memory. Contacts. Smugglers. Hackers. One in particular stood out. Ryan Vale. Former archivist. Quiet, smart, paranoid, and a known whisperer of forbidden history. Alex hadn't seen him in years. Ryan had vanished after the Dominion started wiping fringe historians. Rumors said he was living on a moon called Irix 7, deep in unregulated space. A place the Dominion avoided. I hope you're still breathing, old man, Alex muttered. He punched in coordinates, but didn't engage the drive yet. Because first, he had to deal with the problem outside. His radar pinged. The scout ship had entered the asteroid field. Dominion enforcers didn't care about the danger. They were too efficient. Too focused. They would find him unless he moved now. Alex powered up the engines and shifted deeper into the field. He skimmed past rocks the size of towers, ducking behind a derelict mining rig. Then he cut his engines again. Come on, go past me, he whispered. The scout ship zipped by, close enough that he could see the glow of its engine core. For a moment, it paused. Alex held his breath. If they scanned actively, he was done. But after a long minute, the ship moved on, vanishing deeper into the asteroid belt. Alex waited. 5 minutes. 10. Then he turned everything back on. No more waiting. He locked in Irix 7 and engaged the drive. As the warden leapt into hyperspace, Alex leaned forward and stared at the data core. He didn't know why he had found it. He didn't know why it had called him human. But something deep inside him, something old and instinctual, told him this was no accident. It was a message meant to survive. And now, it was his responsibility. Far behind him, the Dominion ship doubled back and scanned the asteroid field again. It found nothing, but Archon Vel had already been informed. The data breach came from a long-lost sector, one connected to Earth legends. The target had escaped, but the coordinates were flagged. The name, Alex Carter, was marked in red. Vel stood in a cold, metal chamber, watching the data scroll. He touched the screen and narrowed his eyes. So, he said quietly, a myth wants to rise again. He turned to his aide. Send the hunters. And wipe every trace of that station. Alex Carter had stepped into something ancient. Something powerful. And now, he was being hunted not just by machines or soldiers, but by history itself. Alex Carter dropped out of hyperspace above a small, dying moon, Irix 7. The surface was gray and cracked, like old bone. Faint lights flickered along the edges of abandoned structures. No patrols, no signals, just silence. The perfect hiding place. He landed the warden inside a narrow cave mouth near the equator. Dust swirled around the ship as the landing gear touched down. Alex powered everything down again, careful not to send out any readable energy signals. He knew the Dominion could trace even a whisper of movement if they were close enough. He packed the data core into a sealed case and strapped it to his back. Then, with a deep breath, he stepped outside. The air on Irix 7 was thin but breathable. Cold, dry winds howled through the ravines. The only sounds were the crunch of his boots and the occasional screech of metal shifting in the ruins. He followed a worn path toward a collapsed structure, a comm station long abandoned. Hidden beneath the rubble was an old maintenance shaft. Alex knelt and tapped on the hatch in a rhythm only a few would recognize. 3 short, 2 long, 1 short. A pause, then a hiss. The hatch opened. A pale light glowed inside, revealing a thin figure in a hooded coat. His beard was gray, and his eyes sharp behind cracked lenses. He looked older than Alex remembered, but not weaker. Alex Carter, the man said flatly. I thought you were dead. Not yet, Alex replied. Hello, Ryan. Ryan stepped aside. If you brought company, I'll kill you myself. No one followed me. I was careful. Ryan led him through narrow tunnels lit by small wall lamps. Everything was old but functional, cobbled together from scrap and forgotten tech. They passed rooms filled with data chips, hollow books, and broken Dominion scanners. This place wasn't just a hideout. It was a vault of forbidden knowledge. Inside a central chamber, Ryan turned and crossed his arms. You didn't come all this way just to say hi. Alex placed the core on a metal table. I found this. In a dead station. It spoke to me. Called me human. Ryan's eyes narrowed. He stepped forward and ran a scanner over the orb. The display on his wrist blinked wildly. This encryption, it's pre-Dominion. Old Earth systems. You shouldn't even be able to access this. Alex shrugged. I did. Ryan pulled a cable from his gear and connected it to the core. The orb lit up again, casting soft blue light around the room. Slowly, images returned. Earth, humans, war, the message, they erased us. But we remember. Ryan sat down hard. He didn't speak for a long time. I've only seen fragments of this, he whispered. Never the full archive. They purged everything after the fall. Even the word human became illegal to speak. So it's real? Alex said. All of it. Ryan nodded slowly. Yeah, it's real. They sat in silence. The truth hung heavy in the air. Then Alex leaned forward. I want to send it out. Broadcast it. Let people see what was lost. Ryan looked at him sharply. You think that's smart? The Dominion would burn entire systems to stop that data from spreading. Then let them try, Alex said. People deserve to know where they came from. What we were. What we could be again. Ryan sighed. You really believe that? I do. Ryan stood and walked to a nearby wall. He pulled aside a cloth to reveal a black device, dusty, but intact. This is a long-range uplink. Old smuggler tech. It taps into abandoned relay satellites outside Dominion control. It might still work. Alex smiled. Then let's use it. Ryan frowned. We'll need time to decrypt the core. And when we send the signal, the Dominion will know. They'll come. Fast. I'm not running anymore. Before Ryan could respond, an alarm blared. A red light flashed on the wall. Incoming scan, Ryan muttered. He rushed to the monitor. Stealth drone. Dominion grade. They've traced you. Alex stood. What's the plan? Ryan moved fast. Take the core and go. I'll wipe this place. Lead them the wrong way. No. I won't leave you here to die. You have to. The truth is more important than me. Alex hesitated. Then he grabbed the core. Ryan opened a hidden exit leading back to the surface. You'll find a relay tower near the rings of the Los 3, Ryan said quickly. Old, forgotten tech. But it still links to the fringe nets. You can send the data there. Alex nodded. I'll make sure they remember. They clasped forearms. A brief, quiet moment of respect. Go, Ryan said. Alex ran into the tunnel as explosions echoed behind him. Dominion forces had arrived. But they were too late. The truth was already moving. Alex Carter flew through deep space, his ship a shadow between stars. Behind him, Irix, 7 was already gone. He hadn't seen the blast, but he didn't need to. The Dominion never left loose ends. Ryan had stayed behind, knowing what was coming. He had made the choice. Alex tightened his grip on the controls, jaw clenched. Anger burned in his chest, but he had no time to mourn. Ryan had given him a chance. Now it was up to him to make it count. The data core sat beside him, humming softly. Its glow was steady, but the deeper files remained locked. Ryan's last scan had pointed to a connection point, Relay Tower K-7, orbiting the gas giant Delos 3. It was old tech, built before the Dominion took control. Most thought it had fallen offline centuries ago. Alex was counting on that. He punched in the coordinates and jumped to hyperspace. The trip wasn't long, but every second felt stretched. He kept checking his sensors. No signs of pursuit, yet. But he knew better. The Dominion didn't stop until a threat was crushed completely. When the Warden dropped out of hyperspace, the Los 3 loomed ahead. The giant planet swirled with red and gold storms. Its rings spun wide and wild. Amid the debris and ice, something floated, a dark, narrow shape with a broken antenna and flickering lights. Relay Tower K-7. Alex approached slowly. The station was dead silent. No signals. No defenses. It looked abandoned. But the docking clamps still responded when he sent a manual override. The ship clamped in, and the hatch hissed open. Alex stepped into the tower. The air was stale, but still there. Lights flickered to life in the hallway. Dust floated in the low gravity. Everything creaked, like the station was waking from a long sleep. He moved fast, guided by a map Ryan had uploaded before he left. The main control room sat at the top of the tower. Alex climbed a narrow shaft and passed through bulkheads that looked ready to collapse. The place was a tomb. When he reached the core chamber, he stopped. A massive terminal sat at the center of the room, surrounded by old chairs and shattered glass. A faded emblem glowed on the floor. A circle of stars around a single blue planet. Earth. Alex set the data core on the platform and connected it to the terminal. The screen flickered, then filled with strange code. He watched it stream for several seconds. The tower recognized the core. The systems were ancient, but compatible. Ryan had been right. The console beeped. Uplink ready. Broadcast in 180 seconds. Alex sat down. For the first time, he let himself breathe. But the moment didn't last. The lights dimmed suddenly. A new signal pinged across the station. Incoming vessel. Alex rushed to the window. A sleek black ship dropped from hyperspace and moved fast toward the tower. Not just any ship. A Dominion flagship. He recognized the markings. This wasn't an ordinary patrol. This was Archon Vel's personal ship. The console beeped again. 120 seconds. Alex ran back to the terminal and checked the link. Still secure. Still uploading. He couldn't stop now. The room lit up with a soft blue glow. A hologram appeared above the data core. A tall figure with sharp eyes and a calm voice. Archon Vel. Alex Carter, the image said. I am impressed. Alex didn't answer. He stared at the hologram, heart pounding. You have something that doesn't belong to you, Vel said. Something dangerous. It's not yours either, Alex replied. You tried to bury it. Kill it. But it's still here. Vel nodded slowly. Yes, and it must stay buried. You don't understand what that knowledge will do. War. Division. Chaos. We built peace on forgetting the past. You didn't build peace. You built a lie. Vel's voice grew colder. You've seen only pieces. Stories. Sentiment. You think awakening the past will inspire hope. It won't. It will ignite rebellion. And billions will suffer. Alex shook his head. I don't believe you. The console beeped again. 30 seconds. Vel leaned closer in the projection. You still have a choice. Disconnect the core. Step away. I will erase your name, wipe your record, and let you live. Alex stared at him. His mind flashed with Ryan's face. The people in the holograms. The forests. The oceans. The fire in their eyes. No, he said. I'm done running. Vel didn't reply. The projection vanished. 10 seconds. Outside, the Dominion ship launched a pulse. The relay tower shook, lights flickering. Alex held the console with both hands. 5, 4, 3. Another impact rocked the chamber. Dust fell from the ceiling. The screen glowed white. Broadcast active. Across unregulated space, thousands of receivers lit up. Screens in forgotten stations. Data pads in rebel colonies. Personal terminals in quiet rooms. All blinking the same message. They erased us. But we remember. Images of Earth. Of humanity. Of what was lost. The truth was out. Alex collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. He had done it. The Dominion could destroy this tower. They could erase him. But they couldn't stop the signal. The relay tower shook under the weight of another impact. Somewhere below, a reactor pipe hissed and split, spraying steam through the vents. The floor beneath Alex Carter's feet trembled, groaning like it would collapse. But he didn't move. He stood in the control room, eyes locked on the terminal. Broadcast in progress. Signal strength, 93%. The data core pulsed with light, brighter than before. The signal had gone out. Alex was sure of it. Earth's history, the proof of humanity's existence, was now traveling through the forgotten corners of the galaxy. Smuggler satellites, rogue archives, black market receivers, it would reach them all. But the Dominion wasn't done. A crash echoed down the hallway. The station's inner airlock was breached. They were inside. Alex grabbed his pulse rifle and took a position behind the central console. He didn't plan on winning. He just needed more time, enough for the signal to finish uploading across the net. If they shut it down too soon, the truth might vanish again. The door to the chamber hissed and blew open. Dominion soldiers stormed in, black armor, silver visors, moving in tight formation. They didn't speak. Their weapons were already raised. Alex fired first. Blue bolts tore through the air, slamming into the bulkhead and scattering sparks. The soldiers returned fire, forcing Alex behind cover. One shot grazed his shoulder, burning through his coat. He winced but stayed focused. He fired again. One soldier dropped. Two more took his place. Signal strength, 97%. Alex ducked behind a fallen beam. He was outnumbered, outgunned, and out of time. But he didn't care. This wasn't about him. It never had been. More footsteps echoed outside. Then a new figure stepped into the room. Archon Vel. He walked slowly, hands behind his back, calm as ever. The soldiers moved aside for him like shadows. Alex raised his rifle. Vel didn't flinch. Enough, he said. It's over. Alex stayed silent. His finger hovered on the trigger. I don't want to kill you, Vel said. You've done what you came to do. It won't matter. The signal can still be buried. No, Alex said quietly. It's too late. You can shoot me. You can burn this place. But people will see it. They'll remember. Vel studied him for a long moment. You believe in this myth. That memory alone can change the galaxy. Alex lowered his weapon just slightly. Not memory. Truth. The console beeped. The final message flashed on the screen. Broadcast complete. Upload, 100%. Vel's eyes narrowed. His voice was low, tight. Then you've doomed yourself. Alex didn't resist as the soldiers stepped forward. They pulled the rifle from his hands and forced him to his knees. But even as they cuffed him, he smiled. In the background, the screen flickered with the last message from the data core. A single phrase echoed through the relay one final time. Legends don't die. Far away, across distant moons and hidden colonies, people began to talk. Miners in remote tunnels. Traders on black market routes. Refugees in old, Earth-built stations. The signal reached them all. They saw the faces. The planet. The truth. They whispered a word long forbidden. Human. Some denied it. Others doubted. But many believed. And the idea began to grow. Back in the tower, Vel stared at the screen for a long time. Then, without a word, he turned and walked away. The soldiers dragged Alex behind him. The station burned. But it didn't matter. Alex had done what he came to do. He had remembered, for everyone. The Dominion tried to silence the broadcast. Within hours of the signal's release, their cyber units scrambled to intercept and erase every copy. Relays were shut down. Files were purged. Dissenters were arrested. Screens were blacked out in dozens of outer colonies. But it was too late. The truth had already taken root. Across unregulated space, in back-alley taverns, supply ships, underground networks, and forgotten mining camps, people had seen it. The images of Earth. The message, they erased us. But we remember. It was more than a broadcast. It was proof. Proof that the Dominion had lied. That humanity was real. That they had once stood tall in the stars. At first, it spread like rumor. Quiet, uncertain. Whispers passed in coded signals. Secret viewings in dark rooms. But slowly, the silence cracked. People began to speak the word again, human. Not as a myth. Not as a ghost. As a legacy. Some called it rebellion. Others called it hope. For those living under Dominion control, it was a reminder that something greater had once existed and might again. Alex Carter was never seen again. The Dominion claimed he died when Relay Tower K-7 was destroyed in a containment breach. No body was found. No signal from his ship. The official records were wiped clean. His name was marked as a traitor, then erased altogether. But stories survived. In the fringe worlds, travelers told of a man who vanished into the black. A man who carried history on his back. Some said he escaped the Dominion and went deeper into the void. Others believed he found an ancient colony of survivors, humans who had hidden for centuries. They say he walks among them now, quiet, watching, a guardian of forgotten truths. His ship, the Warden, was never recovered. But its signature was picked up once, just once, passing near a shattered moon beyond mapped space. It didn't stop. It didn't respond. It just kept moving. Archon Vel remained in power, but something in him changed. He spoke less, appeared less often. Behind closed doors, some said he watched the broadcast again and again, alone in silence. No one dared ask why. The Dominion tightened its grip. New laws were passed. Historians were silenced. But the effort only fed the fire. In trying to control the truth, they made it stronger. Even those who had never heard of Earth before began to ask questions. Questions that couldn't be buried anymore. Years passed. In a distant settlement built inside the shell of a broken carrier ship, a child found an old pad hidden under the floor. It flickered to life and played the message. They erased us. But we remember. The child didn't understand at all, but he understood enough. He ran to show others. Soon, the message played on every screen in the station. They didn't know who Alex Carter was, but they knew what he had done, and they never forgot it. Because stories, once awakened, don't fade. And some names, once spoken, echo forever. Alex Carter lit a fire in the dark, not for glory, not for war, but for truth. And in every corner of space where someone dares to remember, his legend lives on.